hit me up and let me know, and we'll talk about it. How's that? What else? Let me tell you a little bit about myself for those of you that don't know who I am. Now that I got the mic, I can talk all about me. I am a former Yonkers City Councilwoman for the city of Yonkers. I was a councilwoman as a Democrat, and I worked for 2 Republican administrations as a special assistant to the mayor. I oversaw the Office of Constituent Services, and I also oversaw the Department of Human Rights. I did a lot of fundraising. I did a lot of politicking. Prior to all that, I was a community organizer for the city of Yonkers. And now I'm here. And AJ Woodson has walked in the door. AJ, I've been holding it down for you. All right. The man is in the house.
Hello. There we go. Welcome.
I said that. I said welcome. Ha.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been on for a while. For a couple of minutes already. Okay. I've been holding it down for you guys. Hey, Atif. Atif?
Yes.
Atif.
How are you? Oh, okay.
See you, my dear.
You're looking good.
Thank you. Gracias very much.
Everybody bear with me for a minute. I'm just getting set up. But
I'm moving. No, I'll take it.
But before we get before we got started, I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to get off my chest.
Oh, snap. What happened?
Talk to us, AJ.
Okay, hold on. I got to sign out of somebody else's Facebook so I can sign into mine.
Hi, how are you?
Uh-huh.
I'm Lorraine. Nice to meet you.
Okay,
First lady of
Mike's on.
Ah.
Mics are on. Okay. 1 second, just bear with me. I'm setting up here.
I was by myself for 8 hours, man. Not 8 hours, 8 minutes, man.
Okay. So, there's a bunch of stuff going on. I just took a week off. We good. Yeah, everything is great.
Yes, Brenda, I was by myself.
Welcome to everybody. I guess we're on Facebook. If you saw Brenda, you go to my page so I can make sure we're on. Okay, we are on. Shout out to everybody tuned in right now. D. Wilson, my cousin Michelle Harris, Panama, Shell, Louise Cherigo, Brenda L. Crump, and everybody else who's tuned in. Now, like I said, yo, I got a couple of things I want to get off my chest real quick. Yo, I've been listening to a whole week of MSNBC and all this stuff going on with Trump. And I can't help, once again, but to talk about how the parallels of the Trump administration parallel a lot to the Thomas administration in Mount Vernon. And Trump just like, yo, this dude in the last week alone, he's already, he had the security clearance revoked of a former CIA director, something that no president has ever done before, not for no personal reasons, to the point that 60 members of the intelligence agency who are nonpartisan and you've never heard their names before wrote a letter in complaint and signed their name to it. That's just one. Then we got the Omarosa episode, which where he called her a dog and several other unflattering names. But then had the nerve to try to have like a half-witted tribute to Aretha Franklin. He need to learn about RESPECT.
Yeah,
That's it. So one thing I have to say.
And then you have the newspaper.
Wait, I'm about to go through the whole list.
All right.
So Omarosa, whether you believe in her credibility or not, she been bringing it with them tapes and claims she got 200 tapes, and she got this dude shook because he can't talk about nothing else but her. With all the things going on in the country and in the world, he tweeting about her. Then we got the Jackass of the Month award goes to Rudy Giuliani,
What'd he do?
the former mayor of
We
New
won't
York
mention
City.
Republican.
No.
Right. but
I'm a rhino.
for somebody who was a prosecutor, he is giving out so much false information about what prosecutors can't do, and he knows it's a lie. I mean, he was that dude. He was shutting down mobs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Investigations that went on for a long time, and he keeps talking about what they can't do. And on Meet the Press, he actually had the nerve when they said, "Well, there's their truth and there's our truth." He said, and the guy from Meet the Press was like, "Yo, the truth is the truth." He go, "No, the truth is not the truth." In the White House, that exists. In the White House, the truth is not the truth. You know, there is no truth in the White House. Whatever they say, they say. Then my personal is the attack on the free press and freedom of the press. And shout out to the Boston Globe, who rallied over 300 newspapers and pushed back against Trump.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that was nice.
And I have just finished my editorial, and it'll be in the September paper on our pushback, and not only about Trump, but how we face the same thing with the Thomas administration with Black Westchester. And one of the quotes that I love that came out of that, it said that journalists were the enemy or are enemy of the people. We're not enemy of the people.
No.
We are the people.
We are the people. There you go.
So, then Giuliani, another law, the Justice Department rule, where you can't investigate somebody close to an election. How many investigations? Benghazi and all of them went on for years and years and years, and elections passed and all that. He knows this is not true, but like Spezio and the Thomas administration, they keep saying stuff like how they kept saying for 2 years that Andre didn't pay prevailing wages, that people that even worked for Andre were starting to question whether they got paid prevailing wages. So people that worked with him and knew him were questioning it because they kept saying it. Obviously, that has been proven wrong. And Giuliani knows. Shout out to the National Black Journalists Association, who passed a resolution against Trump's attack on the media. I also addressed that in my editorial in the September issue. Love former CIA Director John Brennan comment, and he's not backing down from his comment that Trump is bordering on treasonous behavior. And I totally agree with that. And then all of that, then we had the Mueller investigation, and all I'm talking about is the week that I took off. Like, this is all the past week. This is not even like I'm adding up stuff from a month ago. This is all the last week. There's been a bunch of BS going on. And I think, and I've been asking, everybody's been asking the question why the GOP is not pushing back against Trump.
Right,
and I think
why?
I think we have a wag the dog style political theater to take the public's eyes off of several things that the Republican wants to do and accomplish and is doing behind the scenes. That's my thoughts on that.
Like what?
Like the what did they just do this week? They did something to undo something that was Obama, and Obama's like, I can't remember. There was so much this week.
Okay.
They undid something that had to do with something. They undid something. I can't remember.
That's
it'll
all
come
they
to me.
do is undo stuff that
Right,
Obama did.
but so and then you know what came up? You know what came to me? That 15K, that tape that what's her name? What's the chick's name? Omarosa? Did I say it right?
yeah, Omarosa.
The videotape that she had, the tape she had of the 15K a month payout in the non-disclosure agreement, and it makes you wonder, because I kept wondering why all these people that Trump fired, why are they out there defending him? Why? Because they're getting that 15K a month, like Sean Spicer, and what's the dude that who just came out too? Bannon. Oh my God, Bannon. I'm glad Bannon did the interview on MSNBC so y'all could see the seriousness of the situation. Because with that dude rallying up the troops and causing the commotion that he's going to cause, the Democrats better be on their game. And my beef with the Democrats is they don't have a clear message, and it can't just be all about impeaching Trump. They need to deal with the issues that matter to their constituents in their districts. And I believe if
they're pretty
they
quiet
play,
too, you
and
know.
I believe if they play
It's
on
not
just
just the
that and they
Republicans.
just talk about the issues that face their districts, they'll be okay. But if they on this combined, we're gonna impeach Trump thing,
We're gonna have a problem.
We're gonna have a problem. And Bannon has already told you he already got $5-10 million. He made a documentary. He's going all out to make sure that the Republicans win. So we need to step up. The Democratic Party and anybody else who's not the Republican Party need to step up their game real big. I had to just get all that off my chest real quick. So that's the week in review. The week in review. And on the local front, the Westchester DA, they had a court case, the people against Jayceen Thomas, the mayor's sister, for alleged assault
And harassment.
of Black Westchester Representative Brenda L. Crump. Brenda was awarded a restraining order. And actually, I can let Atif talk a little bit more about that because you actually were in the court case.
Yeah, I was there.
We'll get into that a little later, but I just wanted to speak on that. One of the things that I wrote also the thing about the freedom of the press, Black Westchester and relatives, family members, and affiliates of Black Westchester have been threatened, have been retaliated against, have been harassed, have been
on social media too.
harassed on social media. That's not going to stop Black Westchester for standing up and exercising our freedom of the press.
Absolutely.
And no attack against us is going to shut us down. And we stand by every representative of Black Westchester, and we will deal with any situation head on that comes from wherever it comes. And this is not just a Mount Vernon thing for, they say we pick on the Thomas administration and Spezio. This is a call for everybody who can hear my voice, every elected official. Don't come at us like that, because we're going to stand ground. And Damon Jones has said several times, since for all of y'all that like to throw the word fake news like Trump around, if anything we wrote in the paper, on the website, or said on the radio show is not true, sue us or shut up. That's what I have to say.
Shut up.
But I'm just saying, stop complaining. Stop making up things. Stop telling people. Stop telling people it's not true. You know what? Especially all of y'all that like to take people to court. Well, we ain't been in court yet. So either you got to do one or two things. You got to take us to court, or you got to admit that what we write is true.
It's true.
And we stand by everything we write, backed by solid sources, and we will gladly go to court with our tapes, our documents, our evidence, our video, and I don't think none of y'all want that.
Nope.
So that's all I want to say, and shout out to the Jamani Williams camp. We just came from a fundraiser for them in Bronxville, kind of like a cottage party type thing. Even though he didn't arrive yet, Black Westchester had the opportunity to interact with some that normally had never heard of Black Westchester before. And they now know who Black Westchester is. So shout out to everybody. I don't know, I think Lorraine did all this already, but welcome to the show. It's Black Westchester presents People Before Politics show every Sunday 6 to 8 on InTheMixRadio.com with our lovely co-host, lovely Latina Lorraine Lopez, all the L's in the world, LLLL.
Oh, triple L.
Yeah.
She ain't just LL. Okay.
Quadruple L.
Yeah, all right.
4 L's.
Wow.
And then we got, and of always we got Dr. Bob Baskerville, Dr. Bob Baskerville, a.k.a. Brooklyn Bob, in the place to be.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
On the
I was wondering who
Yeah.
showed up today.
Yeah. And shout out to Damon K. Jones. He's not on the show today right now. Shout out to him.
He's logged
listening.
in.
Shout out to him and his family and everybody else tuned in. And I am A.J. Woodson, producer of the show. chief cook and bottle washer, whatever, wearer of many hats. And lastly, I want to thank everybody for supporting the anniversary issue of Black Westchester.
Yes.
If you haven't heard me say it 100 times, you'll hear me say it 100 more times because we are happy. We have just celebrated our 1-year anniversary of the paper, our 4-year anniversary of the website, and 2 weeks ago was the 4-year anniversary of this very radio show.
Wow.
So, you know, we
That's what's up.
for something they said was just a local blog that nobody pays attention to, that we this, that, and the other, we are still here. And we've been involved in creating change and educating people and fighting and holding people's feet to the fire. And, just it's 4 years. Now we just going to get stronger and we just going to keep doing it more. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes who holds us down. The names you don't see, Brenda L. Crump, our mistress of information. She holds us down. She always, if I'm writing something, if I'm reading something, and I'm talking about a book or something, she done posted the link. If we don't know something real quick and we trying to, when was that? She'll post the link and tell me the information.
Tell you what's going on, that's
Make
right.
me sound a little more educated than I am. You know what I'm saying about the situation. So she makes us look good. She holds us down, and she is become a Facebook Live broadcaster unlike no other. she will go wherever and she will broadcast.
That's right.
And make sure she shares with everybody. Shout to Tasha Young, just ran into her. Priscilla Ichi, Cynthia Turquoise Jones still does some writing for the site. Who am I forgetting? Max, got Ricky Maxwell holding us down. And all those who hold us down. Laura Case, even though she hasn't been written or been on the show for a while. Homelessness advocate, Laura Case from Yonkers. And everybody who holds us down, everybody who writes, everybody who chips in. These are the faces you see, these are the names you hear, but there's so many people behind the scenes, even with the distribution. Tasha Diaz helps with the distribution. Everybody holds us down, and we greatly appreciate all of y'all, and we most importantly appreciate you, the listeners and the readers.
Speaking about listeners, shout out to Pepsi Martinez. My cousin is listening.
That's what's up.
Shout out to DK. DK has already joined in with us along with a lot of other loyal listeners and comrades in the struggle. John Jones Jr. on, Tamika Coverdale.
Oh, shout out to Tamika. What's going on, Tamika?
Kenneth
Tamika.
Chamberlain
Yeah.
is on the check-in.
Sandy Barnaby.
Sandy.
Marvin
and
Church.
Sandy.
Marvin Church, what's up?
The Future
Oh.
Society.
Marvin Church, public apology. I was supposed to go to the Peak Skill Day with him for the Liberty. Had some issues family-wise. Had to go be with family that wasn't doing too good, and I needed a break. And I am back now. I am back rejuvenated, refreshed, and all that good stuff. So I
How was your
apologize.
trip?
It was good. It was good. It's always good to, first a couple of interesting things that I just found out. So I pulled into the bus in D.C. the day before the rally, expecting that I was going to see something that all around, but nothing happened. My sister lives in Leesburg, which is about within 90 minutes of Charlottesville, and the Robert E. Lee statue is actually in Leesburg.
Okay.
That's
shout-
Robert E. Lee's ancestral home.
I don't know,
or-
but it's the monument that they
did.
need to come down.
They're
So,
trying to take it down. Yeah.
I saw, but what was crazy though, in the
You
local
weren't too far
paper,
from Baltimore either.
right? Yeah, I was close to Baltimore. Shout to Monty Whitaker, all my Baltimore people, Prince George County. But the statue is probably a mile or so from where I was, and if I knew that, I would have went and took some pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
But what I did see, and it made the cover of the local paper, there was a group of white people. They went and put a large tarp over the statue, and they were protesting out there, holding up their banners until the police made them take the tarp down. But they continued protesting.
That's what's up.
But I thought that was dope, and
That was dope.
I'm going to share that in the September issue of Black Westchester as well. And oh my God, shout out the Queen of Soul. I know you heard it everywhere else. We lost another legend, Aretha Franklin. Jackass of the War goes to Fox News.
Definitely.
Who
Yeah.
did a tribute of Aretha Franklin
With
a
Patti
picture
LaBelle.
of Patti LaBelle.
Gladys
Come on
Knight
now.
And Gladys Knight, too.
Yeah.
And Gladys Knight. Come on now. So come on now. Just some things you just need to leave alone. It's not believable.
They did
We
that
don't
on
believe
purpose.
you. Well, I don't doubt that. And Trump tried to give us a shout out. So Black Westchester in the September issue, you heard everybody else talk about Aretha Franklin. We're gonna do something a little bit different. Aretha Franklin was sampled 426 times by hip hop and R&B artists, and I'm gonna list all of them and let you know who. I mean, even people like Luther Vandross has sampled the producer for a Luther Vandross song has sampled Aretha Franklin song.
Really?
And she was a
There's been
great cook too.
There's been 373 remixes and covers of her songs and 15 remixes. She got 18 Grammys. I'm gonna list what the Grammys were.
Wow.
And she was also a big component of the civil rights movement, and that's gonna be our 2-page tribute in the September issue.
Nice.
All the other stuff you can hear about on all them other stations and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I had wrote a piece before that I'm probably gonna rerun. I wrote it for Yahoo. If there wasn't James Brown, there wouldn't have been hip hop, and I had listed like the 50 or 100 dopest hip hop records that ever sampled James Brown. So I'm taking that same flow with Aretha Franklin, because she was sampled 426 times from everybody from Public Enemy to me. We've sampled Aretha Franklin twice. To everybody, even Kid Rock. Kid Rock has sampled Aretha Franklin. You know what I'm saying? Mary J did she did the cover and all that. So anyway, we gonna do that, pay tribute to Aretha, the way Black Westchester
Yes,
plays
yes,
tribute
yes,
to Aretha.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Something you could only get from Black Westchester. All right. So
Tony
Dr.
Jackson said, "My brother Jesse, one love."
Tony, brother, what's up?
What's up? And I am going to introduce, I guess, in a minute. Bob, I know we just came from an event. Would you like to share anything about the thing with Jemani? Would you like to share anything or?
Well, I'd like to say welcome
anything else?
to any of the people that we had the pleasure of meeting at the fundraiser who managed to join us online, because I know some of them did.
That's cool.
Yeah, they all
You
took
know,
the card and wanted
That's
to know when they
nice.
could listen. Yeah, so shout out to everybody who was there.
Yes, shout out to everyone. We met a lot of new interesting people, right, AJ?
Yeah, shout out to Amani. She's down with Sister to Sister.
Yes.
One of the few names I do remember because she just gave me her resume. She
Gus.
does all of their online. She does all of their online newsletter stuff
Mm-hmm.
for Sister to Sister. Shout to Cheryl, and shout to Tasha and the lady she was with that I met before. I think I met with you at the park. She came up to the table when we was at the park.
Oh, the lady that's running?
I think so. Yes.
She's not in point.
Hey, well.
No, well,
shout
I'm
out
just
to,
saying. She's
shout out to
the
her.
fact that she's running is
shout-
not in point.
Okay, well, shout out to her.
God bless her.
Okay, I just
Yeah,
saw
no,
her.
he was just saying
I just
hello.
saw her, and I don't remember her name.
She's
And
challenging.
why.
She's
Yeah.
challenging Andrea, right? Isn't she
no,
challenging?
No.
we're not talking about her.
Oh,
She's
okay.
gonna run against a friend of mine. That's what I'm saying now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, we did the shout outs. Oscar Davis Jr.,
Yes.
Sandy Bernard, always listener. Greenberg Superintendent, Tahira Dupree Chase, personal hero of mine. Tammy Cates, shout to Tammy. Brandy Nichols, Crystal Edwards. Oh, shout out to Crystal. Donna Jackson, Tony J. Jackson,
My
Benjamin.
brother.
Oh, okay. What's up, bro?
You got it.
Benjamin Anderson Jr. and William Hernandez from Miami. What's going on, homie?
Miami's in that.
Yeah.
Miami's in the house.
Miami's in the house.
That's what's
Nice.
up.
Definitely hip hop journalist. Definitely does a lot of the old school hip hop in depth interviews. Dope writer, good friend. Shout out to William Hernandez. Yeah.
Brenda posted everything you need to know about the Jason Thomas trial.
Okay, cool. You can read all that yourself. Damon K. Jones, what's up? Jess, what's up? Atif.
Hey, Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda L. Crump, hi Atif, and thanks so much for the coverage. Hashtag the J.C. Thomas trial.
I got your back, Brenda. You know that.
Tony J. Jackson, my brother Jesse, one love.
Yes, yes.
Damon K. Jones, hey D, all is well. Thanks for the support. Those are the few comments that I did see. I'm sure there's more.
D, what up, D?
I'm trying to pull them up.
Hi, Damon.
Damon.
Yeah.
I thought Damon was in the parking lot earlier. I said that he was in the parking lot, so I apologize to those that are thinking that he was going to be in the parking lot.
No,
That was me.
Oh.
Thank you to Panama Shell, my cousin Michelle Harris saying, looking good, cousin. Appreciate that. Jack Toon, Tune or Toon?
Tune.
Trump is not getting impeached, period. I hear you. I don't agree, but I don't know if it's true or not.
No, he won't get
He won't get
impeached.
impeached. He's won't get
we
reelected.
don't win none of them houses back then. Might be a problem.
D. Williams said, Omarosa better hush before she find her missing. But they find her missing. She says she not worried about all of that.
That's my girl, D. Wilson.
And I heard on MSNBC she been running around the last few weeks to make copies of all the tapes to give them to various family members and friends just in case
Yeah.
anything does happen to
Just
her.
she's smart. Yeah.
Oh, word. That was on MSNBC.
She's
the
got a
other
box
day.
set,
Yeah,
videos in too.
Okay, can I ask a question?
absolutely.
Is she allowed to go to your picnic?
Is who allowed to go?
Omarosa.
Oh,
I have a picnic. When am I having a picnic?
just
No,
just
no,
go
no.
with it. It's a rhetorical question. Just go with it.
Is she allowed to go to my picnic?
Can
Yes.
you explain
Depends on what
to
kind
him
of picnic
about
I'm
the
having.
Now that she has made these revelations about the Trump campaign, has she made amends with the black community as far as you're concerned? And if so, would you have at your family picnic? That's what's getting at.
I say no.
I wouldn't have
See, a lot
half
of
the
people
people.
say no.
Wouldn't have half the people I know at my family picnic.
We're talking
You said
about
family.
Omarosa.
No, but you said family. I'm
Yeah,
just saying there's people I
right.
know I wouldn't have at my family picnic. Yo, this is my whole thing on Omarosa, and that's all I can say. Well, one, Trump is getting Trump created the monster,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and she is definitely out trumping Trump right now. And he deserves whatever comes out of that. I think she's played herself in a lot of ways. I don't know if you could just make amends that way. And you know, some of what she says, she is a credibility issue. To be honest, I mean, you know, her credibility is at question. But so far, even though I don't think there's a smoking gun at the end, so far everything that she spoke on,
Seems like it's coming through. It's true.
she's able to back up with a
Back it
tape.
up. She's
Now you
able
can
to
say the
substantiate.
one with the one in the situation room. What was this dude's name?
With General Kelly.
Right. Now you could say she said it was a threat. You can play that both ways. Maybe it was just a conversation. Maybe it was a soft-worded threat. Maybe there was something behind it. But the damning one was the Bush daughter-in-law, I guess. The Trump daughter-in-law.
Daughter.
Laura.
Trump.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Bush. Laura Trump. Yo, that whole breaking down of the salary. Like, yo, real talks. So when in this room and everybody you're listening to, when has anyone had a conversation with you about a job offering and what your salary would be, and there's no spoke on what you would have to do for it? Like, there was no criteria. There was no, you're going to have to do these things. Your job position will be this, No, we're going to give you
I wanna say-
$15K a month.
The last time that a political administration in Westchester County offered me a job, it was because they wanted to hush me. From
Well,
being
that
critical.
would be me too.
Yeah.
And I've been offered 3 jobs. And the last
Yeah.
one I said, I told Richard Thomas that any job offer that is a means to not allow me to still be the editor of Black Westchester will be considered as an attempt to hush.
Damon says.
Critic.
Damon said the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so a temporary black card.
Oh, for what? I'm a
Omarosa.
Okay. I could roll with that a little bit. But you talking about family picnics though? Like,
Yeah. No.
I
She
ain't trying to
wouldn't
be
be at
funny.
mine.
I'm cool with everybody in this room. I
No,
know
it's,
everybody in this room
it's
will be at my family
not
picnic.
your
And I'm trying to be funny.
not your actually family
Oh,
picnic.
But I'm saying that's what you said,
it's-
so I'm just like, when she go to a picnic depends on what that picnic was.
Right.
Depends on what I was trying to accomplish at that picnic. I was trying to get the attention of a whole lot of people, and I just needed a named person. I know she would attract a lot of people. That's a different thing. That's what I'm saying.
The
So-
question that you're really asking is, has Omarosa's recent turn on Trump made up for
Well, no,
the,
but you
the,
got,
the very poor example that she provided
Yeah.
in being one of the few prominent black people to go on the record as supporting Donald Trump? And in the end, actually, no, it doesn't
right.
compensate for that.
And I don't buy. She was on MSNBC, and she said her whole position was to get blacks in certain roles and to support black issues and support the initiatives of Obama. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you're going a little too far. I don't buy any of that. Like I'm gonna need to see the proof of that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm just and real talk. We're not talking. You're doing what you're doing. One, out of revenge, and two, for survival. You understand? And three, to promote a book.
I think it's about the book.
Yep.
Right. So it's promoting the book. So it's not you, you know, getting back a black card and it's a green card for you, the paper. You know what I'm saying? It's all about green with you right now. It's black and white don't matter. You really
But I do want to say this because, you know, I want to repeat this because I think too often those who don't want to acknowledge the flaws of their preferred political leaders always call into question the motivations of their critics. It doesn't matter what her motivations are. We live in a capitalist society in which one of the mainstream values is people could do damn near anything possible in the pursuit of money, and so it's no surprise. It's par for the course for Omarosa to be selling books.
No, I'm not mad at her selling no book.
Yeah,
Get
I
your-
just
get
wanna
your
make sure-
paper, boo.
I just want to make sure that, listen, it doesn't matter what her motives are. The question is the revelations that she shared, are they valid, and does it give us further reason to doubt President Trump's fitness for the highest office
we
in the
didn't
world?
need
And the
anything-
answer is,
we didn't
again,
need-
yes.
we didn't need
It's always
anything-
what it's been, yes.
we don't
Get
need,
that? I'm
we
sorry.
didn't need any reason. We didn't need any reason
We didn't
before.
need more reasons.
We didn't need any reason to doubt Trump. So, and while I applaud what she's doing, let's not get it twisted like she's doing it because it's the right thing to do, or she's doing it for black people. Like, I mean, she's doing it for her. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean,
Right.
that's the element she grew up in. I mean, she came into being in this reality show type of thing that Trump created her to be. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad she going at him with what he taught her. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, you know, as far as you getting a black card and all that other stuff, I mean, I think we throw stuff like that around a little loosely. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if she deserved a black card. You know
No,
what
she
I'm saying?
doesn't do everything. No.
No, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Now, can I ask you a question? Do you think white people should be chiming in on this story? Do you think a white person should say, "Oh, Omarosa can come to my picnic," or Omarosa should get a black card? Do you think if you're white, you should be speaking on it?
If you're white, I don't think you know what you're talking about, but I don't think there's a reason why you couldn't speak. I mean, because, everybody can say whatever they feel. If that's what they feel, I think that you should know what you're talking about before you talk about it. You understand what
But
I'm saying?
I don't think they have a right to, because I don't think that they can actually relate to it in a deep level like a black person.
I don't think they know what they're talking about, but I'm just saying, can they say it? White people say what they want to say anyway, but I'm just saying, I don't. Yo, if you're well versed, there are white people that listen to this show. Sandy Bernard be one of them. You understand what I'm saying? Who's well versed on a lot of issues.
The issues.
for
Yeah.
black. So if she was, and that was her feeling, which I strongly disagree with, doubt it will be, but if that was her feeling, I know she knows enough about the issues and the plight of black people, even though you can never. I can know.
But even Sandy
I can
Barnaby.
know all. I can be have empathy and be very knowledgeable
Yeah.
about women's issues. But because I'm not a woman, there are certain things that I just won't understand about being a woman and what you go through as a woman, because I'm not a woman. You understand what I'm saying? Like I always say, a woman can't teach a boy to be a man. Yo, I could not teach my daughter to be a woman. I can teach her what I think and my opinion, but I don't go through what y'all go through monthly. I can't carry no babies. I don't go through a lot of things that women face. You know what I'm saying? My body don't go through all them changes and stuff like that. I cannot speak on adequately. So in my life, her mother was in her life strong, but I also had strong role models like my mother and my sister.
Can we get back to?
So that's what I'm saying as far as like that. But as far as if you know, like somebody like Sandy Barb, she knows a lot of the issues.
But even she's not qualified to speak on it, regardless of how much she knows. I don't.
Bob got a question. Bob, you got that frowned up face. You were about to say something.
What do you think, Bob?
I don't know why. Quite honestly, I think that there's little value, quite honestly, in spending much time. Little serious value in discussing Omarosa. There's little serious value in discussing.
Oh,
it.
okay.
Well,
honestly,
I just brought it up because
I mean, we could,
yeah.
but it's okay. It's political gossip.
Well,
We can-
no. It's headline news. It's been making the news. It's something that everybody else is discussing. So we should be able to discuss it here, I think. But we can move on now.
Well, I
I'm
said
not
all I
saying-
had to say
I-
about her.
She ain't coming to your picnic though, right?
Nah, not unless it was a money thing and I was trying to get people to pay and I was trying to get as many people there for some
still
kind of
talking
reason.
about that,
I'm
like-
serious. I'm being
No.
real with you. If it was that kind of an event,
But it was a
and
rhetorical
you was trying to
question,
draw
like Bob
people,
said.
yeah, I would. Yeah, but no, not really. Shout to who else? Floyd Myers. Shout to Floyd Myers tuned in. Shout
Floyd,
to
what up?
T. Suffredino. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Good evening, my beautiful black people. This was her comment. Barry Bookhard. Bookhard, how you doing, sir? Yo, we have to catch up. I have not talked to you since we've been back in New York. You need to holler at me. Reach out to me on Facebook. We need to exchange numbers. We got to get up. Who else? So Brenda put out, and just for the last thing, Omarosa, and that's all. She put out the link to the Omarosa mixtape tour report, and there's video too. And you can click on it, and I think it's theroot.com. They got something called the Omarosa mixtape tour. So that's cute. But enough of that though. So going back, shout to Tara Latimer Wilson. Shout to Sean Patterson Howard. And I spoke you up. Shout to my boy Monty Whitaker, Prince George County, Maryland. Shout out. I just came from down there. I was supposed to call you when I was down that way. I did not. But I'm home now. But shout out. We'll catch up. We'll catch up. Shout out to Pat English in Strong Island. Shout out to her. Okay, so to answer to your question, so Sandy said without the lives experience, whites have a perpetual deficit with regards to race, and we need to take leadership from. We must take leadership from. So whites must take leadership from people of color who have clarity and analysis. Black Westchester Political Conference leadership, and this radio show provides that leadership. Thank you, Sandy, especially since I brought your name up. Thank you for commenting on that as well.
Yes.
So
Thank you, Sandy.
We're gonna get. I was trying to get to everybody's comments. Monty said I'm slipping, but he gave me the thumbs up. Yeah, my bad, dude. My bad. I turned off my phone. Everybody here can tell you.
Yeah, I called you 25 times today.
I put my phone on vibrate on the bus ride down, and my phone is still on vibrate now. So a lot of people got missed calls, and very few people heard my voice over the weekend. So it was, and I needed that. I really did.
Yeah.
I really did.
How you feel now?
I'm refreshed and rejuvenated,
Ready
and
to
ready
go.
for
Ready to
whatever.
go.
But I needed that, cause the phone rings all day, and it's just sometimes people just want. When you write a story, and then 80 people call you to ask you what the story's about, cause they didn't read it.
Right.
What did I write the story for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then the other 20 people who call because they think there's some more to the story that I just didn't include, and they figure like they want the background. Dude, I wrote the story. It's all in the story. What I know and can prove, it's in there. There is no more. But anyway, so I get those calls. Plus, you got to figure every time something goes down, we get calls. Like I said last month, a guy supposedly got arrested, wrongfully arrested. They tried to put him in, the police tried to have him admitted to St. Joseph Hospital. He got out 2 o'clock in the morning. He Googled what to do when mistreated by the police, and Black Westchester came up. And he called from 2 to 6 till he got me. So, the phone rings like that, like crazy. So I'm going to be having those turn the phone moments off a little bit. And if it's important, they'll get the voicemail. They'll leave a voicemail.
That's it.
So he had the number, huh?
Huh?
He had the number, huh? He knew the call.
Well, he knew the office number. Yeah,
Oh,
he did. That does ring to my cell too, though.
Okay.
But he looked it up on Google. I mean, Google said call
That's
Black
it.
Westchester. Yo, word up. So Bob, we got 2 guests in the building.
Yes.
Would you like to introduce the guests and transition into that portion of the conversation?
So, everyone, I'd like to give a special welcome to Atif Khalil.
The one and only.
Thank
The
you.
Who been
only.
Who been writing? He's a writing machine.
Thank
Like he's just been writing, and I don't have to write nothing else about Mount Vernon now because he's the Mount Vernon correspondent. He
That's
is
it.
on it. If it happened in Mount Vernon, he on it.
I'm on it.
He got it.
We got it.
And to
Thank you, Bob.
Brother Jesse Van Loo. They both have
Well, I was
recently.
trying to give him a round of applause. I was waiting
Appreciate
for
it.
you.
Oh, I'm
Appreciate
sorry.
Let-
Yeah.
For
Okay,
the,
let's
so,
give 'em a
the official,
applause. I would say a little
official,
bit more.
the official people before politics. Welcome.
Thank you.
And before we go any further, paying all due respect, shout out to Lorraine for holding it down for however long it was until I got here. For she got on here by herself in the room by herself and was holding it down
For 8 minutes.
well,
8
Nah, well, listen.
harrowing minutes.
They were howling. Don't do that. I know.
8 minutes, Dougie Fresh.
And we did it together last week.
Well, she held it down by herself today. She didn't say, let's wait. She got on the air. She held it down. So shout out to Lorraine. And let me give her round of applause.
I know how
And let me-
intimidating it can be.
And let me officially
Yes,
say,
yes.
I listened
Much
to the show
respect for you,
last
Bob.
week. I listened to the show when I was supposed to
That was
call in. They had Nada Sayers come on.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bob had some great conversation about education with him. Yo, I
He
really
sure
had
did. He
nothing.
did.
I had nothing to add. There was nothing me calling in could have added to the show. So shout out for Dr. Bob and Lorraine holding it down last week by themselves the entire show.
All right.
Yes, we did.
That is applause for me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Some type of way,
I want
huh?
y'all to know that actually AJ was texting me during the interview and telling me the questions. He's fronting. He's just trying to, he's trying to big me up.
I'm sorry, whoever's calling me, we're on the air and I can't answer the phone right now.
Oh, so your phone is on now, huh?
That's my headset. That's the only reason. I'm still on voicemail. I'm still on vibrate, but I got the Bluetooth headset and they got a
Oh.
speakerphone on it.
So,
So,
yeah, you're doing double.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's ringing through here. It's not ringing
Yeah.
over there.
It's loud.
So, Atif and Jesse, this is both of y'all's first appearance on the show, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the reason why we extended an invitation to you guys generally is because I've become aware of a more public leadership role that you've begun to play in Mount Vernon grassroots politics. Atif, of course, through the writing that you've done with Black Westchester, which I've been aware of for a couple of months now, and was instantly impressed at the quality of writing. And I think AJ will recall me giving you plaudits
Thank you.
for the good work.
And he been
And-
straight to Facebook with it too.
Yeah.
Straight to Facebook.
Yeah,
Like
he gonna let you know.
no, I'm saying he didn't wait
He-
for me to post it. He
he
just
wait.
like straight to Facebook.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
just- yeah.
And Brother Van Loo, because of the joint call that you issued with Atif for a rally this upcoming Wednesday evening. And so we really, to be quite honest, I think AJ, Damon, myself, Lorraine, and a lot of other figures who are loosely associated with the Black Westchester team, I'm going to say generally,
Yes.
you know, are of the view that we've been out and pretty prominent in local politics and have been issuing the call for resistance to some of the policies, the objectionable policies that Mayor Thomas has been instituting since he was inaugurated.
Yes, you have.
But you guys have really, in some respects, raised your voices even louder with the call for this demonstration.
Yes.
I myself have been, long a proponent of a more direct action kind of tactics in order to begin to try to neutralize what the mayor is doing. But you guys issued a call independently. We never even
No
had
more.
any discussion or anything. So I really wanted to give you guys an opportunity, for one, just to share with us and with the members of the audience what motivated you to issue this call, what kind of response you've gotten thus far, and what you hope will be the outcome.
Well,
And
You go ahead.
well, thank you for the opportunity, Bob and AJ Woodson and Lorraine. I appreciate it. It's good to actually put a name with the face. So it's good to be here. But to get to your point, Bob,
Is his mic on?
can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Mic check, mic check.
Just gotta talk right into the mic. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah.
there you go.
So I want to talk, mainly about what got me here to this point and started working specifically with Black Westchester.
And let me just say, and you, like Bob, grew up with the Thomas family. You knew the
Yeah, I
Thomas,
knew
so
the
you
Thomas
know-
family very well, for a long time. And this is disappointing. This is not enjoyable. I'm not enjoying this. This is not what we expected and want for our city. But unfortunately, this mayor has no conscience, as our former council president, Roberto Puzo, said, and he is evil. And I agree with that. And based on the actions that he has displayed. Your hard work, Bob, and AJ, doing stories about Mount Vernon has inspired me, and some work that Cynthia Turnquest Jones has done has inspired me to, be a part of the team and kind of give more information about what's going on specifically in Mount Vernon. And I know Brenda Crump has been out there exclusively at the courtrooms, and I want to support her on that effort as well. So I figured I need to be a part of this team. But as far as the rally, which is why we're here, Save Our Mount Vernon Rally, is to bring awareness to the public of the facts of what is going on in Mount Vernon. Mayor Thomas, as he will this Tuesday, is going to be giving a demonstration about Memorial Field. He has no input in Memorial Field. He's banned. He can't even step foot on Memorial Field, so he should not be talking about it. It's a county-led project.
Wait. No, but he got Diddy. He gonna remix it.
Right, no.
I'm sorry.
So why is he on stage talking about Memorial Field when, number one, he's blocked from it, number two, he has no input in making any plans. So I'm starting to think that we have a disconnect, and it's just those types of actions. And I mean, we all know what happened with Kayla tennis court, and I think just that action, says a lot. And it hit me hard, which is why I think around June I started, exclusively writing for Black Westchester, bringing awareness as to what's going on, because he is lying. He is lying. People need to know that Mayor Thomas is not telling the truth, and it needs to be brought up. It needs to be stopped. The misleading of information, telling you that your taxes are going to go over 200%. That's never been heard of. That cannot happen. It's not true. And for a mayor to spend money and to put fear, and misleading information out into the public is not right. Now, we also have a criminality issue with this mayor. He has brought in criminals to do work, to tear down our property. Convicted criminals. I'm not even, judging him. I'm saying he was a convicted criminal before he started doing work. Michael Figueroa is who I'm talking about. So he brought this man in to do some work that he shouldn't have been doing. He's not licensed. And for some reason, the mayor thinks that he should get paid for the crime that he's committed. And it's this type of behavior, Bob, that is really upsetting a lot of people. And I think Jesse will speak on more stuff, but Michael Figueroa and the business that he's done with the city the things, the crime that he's done in this city, and the lack of respect that the mayor has for the community by lying and misleading is definitely a major concern for me.
Right.
And I think Jesse's going to speak on a few other things.
Before we turn to you, Jesse,
Oh, I'm sorry.
just for the interest of full disclosure
Yeah.
to our audience members, there is a possibility I'll be speaking at the rally on Wednesday, and so
Yeah.
as I pose the questions and we have this discussion, I do want anyone to understand, be aware of this, lest you think I am hiding important information.
Right. Right.
But in any case,
But and I just want to add, regarding Kayla, the big question that I have, and I think a lot of people have, is why is he still out? Why wasn't he arrested for being involved in that takedown? That's what I don't understand. He was, put out an order to the building department to shut down the tennis court. That's one thing. Then he said, Michael, go with the building department and tear it down as well. You just can't do that. So why wasn't charges pressed? Why didn't they go to the district attorney and said, listen, sue this guy. This is a criminal act. This is, mischief. He was trespassing. He had no reason to be there. There was no court order giving him a reason to be there. So why was he there? So it's questions like that that need to be answered. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they will be answered. I'm gonna keep it real. I got tired of reading Facebook, social media, seeing people talk about what they need to do, who's not doing what. Mayor Thomas is basically putting the city upside down. If it's not there yet, it's there. I got to the point where it's like, you know what? My voice is not going to be silent anymore. I'm going to speak. Like a lot of people in Mount Vernon know me, so I got calls this week. Jess, why are you doing it? I'm not wrong. Look, we voted for him. We can vote him out.
right.
City council members, stand up, because we coming. So just like me standing up, I should have another 400 or 500 people. I won't say brothers, sisters, doesn't matter who's out there. Should be out there at the rally Wednesday, the 22nd at 6 o'clock. Rain or shine, we're going to be there.
Absolutely.
Rain or shine, we're going to be there. Now, the things that's been going on, people are terrified. You got people in City Hall right now want to come to this rally. I got people calling me, they're not going to come. They're worried about retaliation, payback, supervisors ranting somebody up and worrying about their jobs, and it's all wrong. This man been in it for a short time, and there's no way for him to act the way he's acting right now, doing the things he's doing right now. I want to find out. City Council wrote their Article 26 for Cuomo.
Seven. Is it 26?
Is it 26? I think it's 26.
70. Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I got the city charter, looked at it.
Okay.
You can find out
Yeah. Right.
and find out if she drafted it, or if, did she send it. Now, most of the time the events is going on, city council members are nowhere around, except for maybe one. I won't say his name. Everybody know who it is. But it's the fact that they should be there. I'm requesting city council members to be there Wednesday, too, at 6 o'clock Wednesday, the 22nd of August. Show up.
Now, there's a city council meeting that day, too, right? This is before the meeting?
If they have a meeting, it's early in the day, I don't think it'd be 6 o'clock. I looked on
The city council meeting is at 7 o'clock.
at 7.
I'm going to be honest. I'm unsure, and I actually
What is the
discussed
date?
this with
What
the
is
The
the
22nd.
But remember, we're in the
City
month of
council is
August.
there's only one in August,
That's
right?
right.
I think
Right.
so.
Right.
I
okay.
assume
Because it's usually the second and fourth week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Except
summer
for
recess,
August.
I think.
And maybe July?
Yeah, it's July
July
and
and August only has one.
Yeah.
One meeting.
And I
Okay.
was-
The summer
yeah.
recess, I think.
I was there at City Hall. I made sure the letters was correct for the PA system. Make sure they stamp my letter so it won't be no problem with Thomas and his henchmen over there trying to shut us down. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to be there.
Let me actually, and I missed part of it. I just want to say our guest for today is also New York State Governor candidate Larry Stark. His people just called for direction.
Very
so
sharp.
Okay.
Sharp. I'm sorry, Larry Sharp.
Mhm.
I've mispronounced his name 3 times
Because
today.
I said it earlier when you wasn't here.
Right, and his people just called to get their address. They had a problem with the address, so he is trying to get here. So I stepped out the room. In other words,
Okay,
so
no.
but you touched upon it a little bit. Do you fear retaliation? Are you worried about what putting your name on this
No.
means? Because I know that a lot of people.
Jesse,
and I want
I
to say,
don't
and I
mean-
want to say one thing too. while the retaliation is greater now under this
It
administration,
is.
the same was for Ernie Davis. So a lot of people that couldn't come out and support us for the things we were doing and speak on the record or even shake my hand in City Hall because of fear of retaliation from the Ernie Davis administration.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, but it seems that it's greater now. But but for those who will say it was like that before, it was, but I think it's greater.
It's greater now. I'm getting calls now. And if they can't speak, I'll speak for them. We can have speakers there Wednesday. They're going to talk. Some people may feel we should hold back and don't put them on notice, but I'm going to put them on notice. I'm not going to have no prepared statement. I'm going to write what I feel. Because, like, for me to stand up, a citizen of Mount Vernon, taxpayer, worked at the library for 30 years. I got hurt on the job, so now I'm retired. I see a lot of things I should have been seeing a long time ago. Like I said, I'm trying to get my people to stand up and come there and show support because he has to go.
Exactly.
He has to go, you know. Monday, I may draft a letter for his resignation. Sit down. You deal with your court case later on. And we just got to change. We got a vision of Mount Vernon. It's not only that. We got things that should be happening. He's worried about building a beach in Mount Vernon, importing sand.
Unbelievable.
You can't do that. What about filtration system to clean the water off the, what is it, sawmill over there, whatever it is, the hutch? You can't do that. Fix the potholes.
Isn't that the area where we're
Yes.
being sued from the sewer with the water?
Yes.
And he
With
wants
the
to put
sewage
people
going
in.
into the water? Isn't that what we're being sued for?
Yes.
Isn't this the same area that where the
Yes.
beach would technically be?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to clear that
So,
up.
so it's,
We have
it's,
sewage going in the water now. And we're
and
gonna
it's a
make the
list. You
beach-
talk about getting a filter system to fix that, but somebody did ask him how much money it was going to cost. We never got an answer. But the potholes, they filled it up in 2 days. The third day it's out. So you're wrecking your car. Street lights out. The main thing too is get the cops walking the beat again. We don't see them. Have 5 overdoses on 3rd Street. They was there for 2 days. You drive by 3rd Street and First Avenue now, and you look at them. They still out there walking around like zombies. The same thing. So where does it stop? The only way it's going to stop is we change who's sitting in the house in there. And I consider that house up there our house, the people's house.
Well, it is.
Okay?
Just like the White House in Washington. It is.
And we have problems with it, so we're trying to do what we got to do, and I couldn't take it. So I'm asking, and this may not be the last rally, trust me. They're going to see my face, and the face
Yep.
has a name now, Jesse Van Loo. And I don't worry about retaliation. I'm not worried about that. I have no fear.
Well, you have Damon's not here, so I will read his comment. He said it's the unfortunate culture of black politics in Mount Vernon, and we wonder why the city looks the way it does. And I'll add to that, you know, and a lot of black communities, black and brown communities, we're quick to blame the white man for the reason the city is the way it is and the situation. We can't blame the white man at Mount Vernon. We can't blame. I mean, we got a black government. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
There might be some white people pulling the strings in the background, but we have a black government. We're one of the few places on the eastern seaboard, on the on the East Coast, that have a black government. Not just Westchester, but on the East Coast, that has a black government. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're not. Anthony Old School Mitchell said, "Hey Jesse, my brother.
Yes, yes.
What's good of people before politics?" Louise Cherico said, "Exactly. These mayors have to first fix infrastructure, then make nice attractions." I agree.
I just want to underscore the point that Brother
Yeah.
Jesse made about the climate of hostility
Yeah.
that the mayor has attempted to create almost from the day that he walked into office by his deliberate violation of lots of rules and regulations that he took an oath to abide by, one of the most important of which is respecting the due process rights of Mount Vernon's municipal workers.
Right.
And the immediate catalyst
Right.
for the demonstration is, of course, the mayor's decision to try to wreak revenge on Damon, because Damon's been part of that vocal group of critics,
Right.
by having his daughter's cupcake shop could shut down. It is unacceptable, everyone. It is unacceptable for the mayor to run roughshod over the legal statutes that he said he would abide by for the purpose of seeking vengeance on one of his political opponents. And this is just the most recent. I mean, this is it's outrageous what Mayor Thomas does.
That was the last straw with me.
Yeah.
I was there the next day.
Yeah.
When Kayla, he took it down that night, the next day I went down there. I was the first straw.
I was there that
That
night.
was the
I got a
second
call,
straw.
I got a call at midnight. I was there by 12:30. I was out there with Kayla.
You need
till
you
3.
need 3 police and yellow tape.
I was out there. I was out there with Kayla till like 3, 4 in the morning, and before I left, he looked me in the face and he said, "What do you do? Who do you call when the police department is protecting the people that are violating?"
Exactly.
And
Why would they be there 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like he was just sitting there still in awe, like in shock that this actually happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
So let me just add a couple of things because I think if you go on to our event, you'll see a press release of some of the things that we're going to be speaking about. One in particular is a commissioner to charter change, because as of right now, my biggest beef was with the council, but I can understand they're in a tight situation right now because there's not much they can do. They don't have much power to do anything to stop them. That's why it's gotten this big and bad. So we need to commission a charter, or we need to commission a commission to change the charter, so that way, the council has a little bit more power and input, and so does the public, because the council are our customer service representatives. They represent the public, so they need to have some say-so in some of this stuff, and or more. And one of the items that
I just want to be clear.
Sure.
It's not that they don't have say-so. It's that the mayor is overriding their authority and doing what he wants to do.
Anyway.
Right.
It's not because the charter, there are things in the charter because we've gone to court. They've gone to court and the judge said some of this is what? Ambiguous. Like,
Right.
why are y'all coming to me for things that are, it's there in your charter.
Unambiguous.
Unambiguous. I'm sorry.
Right.
So I just want to clarify that the charter does give them power. There are things that the mayor cannot do without the approval of both the council and sometimes the board of estimates, but he does anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So
right.
it's not that it's not written down.
Right.
It's just even with closing down these businesses without due process. The mayor
So then
is
it goes back
acting
to council. Then
what's my favorite word now? I heard it all week. Autocrat. Autocrat.
Mhm.
Autocrat. Yeah. He's being a dictator or autocrat or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I mean, I just want to just echo what AJ has said. There is plenty that the city council can do, but refuses to do because they feel that they may have to pay a political price and lose their popularity with the electorate in the city of Mount Vernon.
Right.
But that's part of the job. When you swear an oath to protect the Constitution or the higher laws, your first concern needs to be in safeguarding those higher laws,
Right.
and not your own job.
and
And
defend
the
the
thing that
charter.
city council can do, that it has continuously fumbled the ball on, is it could take the mayor to court on an Article 78 proceeding that would have a judge clarify
Right.
well, decisions that they are making that they maintain are illegal. But the city council has really refused. AJ has said it already.
They're sitting on their hands.
They are.
That's
And
what they're
just-
doing.
And I want to just make one valid point too about because actually a council person did say on Facebook, on social media, that she was going to send a referral to Cuomo to have Mayor Thomas removed from office for a certain amount of days, but that was not done. So the attempt was there, the promise was made, but nothing was done. So we also want to follow up on that with Councilwoman Lisa Copeland, because she did say on Facebook, Twitter through Facebook, that she will send a referral to the Governor Cuomo, that is, to suspend, because I think you can only suspend the mayor. You can't completely
for like
remove
60 or
him.
90 days.
60
or
or
90
90 days,
I think.
yeah.
It's 90.
So it would be a recommendation to suspend the mayor for those days, and we need her to do that because
let me just, and I just want to say this, and this goes to the residents as well. And I'm reminded of a documentary that was about Martin Luther King and who's the president? Harry Truman. Was
Right.
it Truman?
There's Lyndon B. Johnson.
I'm sorry, Lyndon. I'm sorry. And basically, there's a scene in the documentary where he wanted to do some of that stuff, but he's like, "You're gonna have to make me do it. Like, you're gonna have to speak up. You're gonna have to bring the attention. You're gonna have to fight for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so you're just gonna have to, like, nothing that we've been given, nothing that we've accomplished in our history, as far as civil rights, the voting, any of that stuff. nobody gave it to us because it was the right thing to do.
Right.
Them white people didn't let us sit where we wanted to on the bus because it was the right thing to do. Black people stayed off the bus for over a year. Them people's about to go bankrupt. You have to use your voice and your power, and that's what's important with a rally of this kind. And that's the point that I wanted to bring up. Let your voice be heard, because I'm gonna tell you what, if this rally goes on and there's not numbers, and I'm talking about at least 100 people, the press ain't coming to pay y'all no mind. Ain't nobody paying no mind.
They're not gonna worry about it. Yeah.
People going, numbers scare people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the South Side. I'm talking about Fleetwood. I'm talking about the Heights.
Right.
I'm talking about Mount Vernon.
Right.
Anybody who believes that what's going on needs to stop, needs to show up. Everybody doesn't need to speak, but some people, you need to show up.
Yeah.
And numbers is numbers. See, numbers get people scared because numbers are voters.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Yo, you got 250 people, 300 people or more, and these are voting people.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna pay attention to what they got to say. You know what I'm saying? Even if you try to dismiss them, you can't dismiss that number. It's numbers, and we don't come out in numbers. We sit back. This ain't the type of thing y'all need to watch on Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It will be broadcasted live. This ain't the type of thing you need to look at the pictures and the videos after the fact. This is the type of thing where you need to come out. If you feel something needs to be done, if you're tired of the way things are being done, if you don't like and you don't agree what's being done, then show up. Right. That's it. You just need to show up. You understand what I'm saying? There's gonna be opposition, but that can't stop you. You understand what I'm saying? You got to show up. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say. I mean, I don't want to take over your thing, but I mean, as far as this, and this goes for any kind of this, I'm tired of these rallies and these organizational meetings and stuff. I've been involved in about 5 or 6 groups that started. Bob's been with a couple of them. All of these kind of things.
Why you had to say me?
No, but we came to the meetings because we heard what it was supposed to, the group was going to be and everything like that, and it never manifested to nothing. It's time to stop meeting. Well, we're going to meet in closed rooms and complain. It's time. Stop calling Black Westchester complaining.
Right.
Stop talking about this stuff to other people and complaining.
Well,
what are you going to do? I mean, that's the bottom line. You are the residents. You are the people. You are the taxpayers. These elected officials and the police department and all of them work for you. Your taxpayers pay their salary.
Exactly.
They shouldn't tell you, police shouldn't tell you how policing should be done in your neighborhood. Like other communities, we supposed to tell them how we want our neighborhood to police. Exactly. We supposed to hold these people. We elected them. Like I said, you voted. They wouldn't be there if they didn't come through and tell us all the pretty words and get our vote. We was important, and then our opinion mattered then.
Yeah. And in full disclosure, I supported Richard Thomas.
I worked the campaign.
And I did too.
I was his
under false pretense, by the way.
I was his social media department. I mean, I did his social media.
Yeah.
I ran his Facebook page, his Instagram page, his Twitter page.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I helped look over some press releases.
Let me ask you, AJ, where do you think the disconnect was? Like, where do you think the break-in? Like, what do you think was the disconnect? Just, I mean, out of curiosity.
I mean, for me personally, I can only speak for me.
Covering it before I have.
I can only speak for me.
Right.
The greatest thing that he did was to hide the fact that Spezio was involved.
Yeah.
I never knew. I heard the name Joe thrown around once or twice. I found out about Spezio after the primary and the move to the Washington office. You know what I'm saying? Before that, there was no Spezio on 4th Avenue and on Gramerton. I ain't know Spezio existed. I thought, and I'm going to tell you what I thought, and I told Ernie Davis supporters and everybody else, yo, a lot of the other people, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, and this is my opinion, a lot of them were just looking for a couple more years. Some of them just wanted to pad their years for their pension or whatever. Like Richard Thomas had aspirations to go on to further offices. You understand what I'm saying? And the only way that works, he had to do a good job at Mount Vernon. Even if his intentions weren't honorable, it was just so he can be governor or whatever. Like, Mount Vernon still would have had to been he would have had to been successful.
Right. Right.
And I thought Mount Vernon would benefit from that.
Exactly.
And also, I had his ear, and I said where he was young and where he was inexperienced, if he allowed the older people around him that knew what time it was, the voices of reason, and he surrounded himself with that, he could do a damn good job.
I'm telling you, that's where the disappointment comes
but
in.
we were fighting. You know how there's like the battle you see and the battle you don't. So we were fighting the battle we see. We didn't see the forces behind the
Right.
Spezio factor, and we put Spezio's face on that. There's other people that's behind that. It's not just we give Spezio sometimes too much power. There's other people and other people's money that was involved in that.
Right.
But Spezio was the face of that. So we didn't know that. You understand what I'm saying? And then when we started seeing the change, I started seeing a change in his relationship with me. You understand what I'm saying? I never went against Richard Thomas. I didn't push Richard Thomas away. Richard Thomas pushed me away. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so did a lot of other people.
Some stuff happened in the campaign towards the general election. He didn't know where it was coming from. He distanced himself from me.
Yeah.
That's what happened. You understand what I'm saying? I never walked away from him. I was the person in the camp, minus Cynthia, who called in on WVOX, who was still a believer in him way beyond I was. Yo, everybody was like, yo, why are you still giving this dude the benefit of the doubt? Why are you still reaching out? When there was the breakup in the division, I was the one trying to hold and put meetings together with Sam Rivers and Richard Thomas. And let me just tell you about that. Yo, I got Sam to do all that you could ever expect from Sam. They would worry about him recording. Sam was willing to give me both his phones, walk in that room, have that meeting, and get his phones afterwards. Come on, we talking Sam Rivers. You can't ask for no more.
No.
But that wasn't good enough, though. Then it was something else
Sam
and
means
something
well.
else.
He means
And
well.
no, but I'm just saying, though,
Yeah.
that was when the whole thing, because there was a division between them. And I'm not speaking for neither one of them, what there was. But I felt like, yo, we had done too much work for everybody to fall apart just before the primary. I was working with Butch. Me and Butch was going back and forth. Butch was speaking for Rich and trying to, what Rich felt. And I was sharing what Damon and Sam and others felt, and Andre and others felt, and was trying to bring everybody to the table. Met with him a few times. He met with me one time. He had a difference of opinion of something he didn't understand with Damon. Found out where Damon was, we went to Damon so they could have the conversation.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And then that it just we did our part and he didn't hold up his part.
Right.
And I say this lastly, and I've said this all along. Is our next guest here? Okay. One second. I say this lastly, and I'm gonna give you a chance before the end of the show to go back on.
All right.
I was in Atlanta. I already know I came back home 2014. I was in Atlanta for like 10, 12 years. I did not participate in any Ernie Davis or Clinton Young campaigns. Not saying I wouldn't have if I was here.
Yeah.
I was not here. And the one time I did live in New York, before that, I think for a year or so I was living in New Rochelle, so I couldn't vote or I wasn't part of the election. And I held Ernie Davis' feet to the fire. Asked him for them last 2 years of his last term. How much more do you think I'm going to hold the feet to the fire of the person that I helped get in office, that I voted for, that I put my name on the line for? There's people on the South Side walking up to me talking about, your mayor. Yeah, I only voted because of you. That's the only reason I voted for him.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, every time you do something, your mayor, there you go, your mayor. You know what I'm saying? So I got to wear that. So I'm going to be harder. And you were, more importantly than anything else, you were the future of black politics, and not just Mount Vernon, not just Westchester, but New York State and maybe further. You understand? You were the promise of hope for a whole lot of people who gave up hope. And I've had these conversations with Richard Thomas himself. Anything I'm saying now, I told the man himself. So this is not just me just talking of the.
Yeah.
I've had these conversations with him. You understand what I'm saying? He was the voice of hope. He was the future of black politics. The millennials jumped on it because he was one of them.
Yep.
Everybody else was old enough to be their grandfather or grandmother. You know what I'm saying? But he was one of us. I mean, one of them. I'm not a millennial. You know what I'm saying? They believed in him. And there was people that didn't have hope, gave up all hope in Mount Vernon, started to believe. People never voted before. People coming to the campaign office on 4th Avenue when they had the cookout for Mighty and them. Yo, 40, 50 years old, never voted, didn't believe in the system, was registering to vote right there because they was believing in the hope. Because they all was like, yo, my vote don't count.
Yeah.
And all them same people like, yo, oh, see, I told you my vote don't count. And you got people saying, I ain't never voting again. You have more 18 to 25-year-old first-time voters probably in a very long time because the other administrations didn't go out and pull out, try to get to them people, try to register. I registered 101 people myself, registered in Mount Vernon for that election. I registered.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The things come in stacks of 100. I keep 100 stack at my house. I got one now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? People was coming by my house, and we just drop them off. You give them, sign them, we drop them off. I registered 101 people. And most of them 18 to 25 are first-time voters that never voted before. Telling the felons that they could vote if they was off parole because they was told they couldn't vote. You know what I'm saying? So
That's crazy.
yo, when you say you're gonna be for public safety, and we got all these murders, and now, yo, you got this man running the police department, and public safety is our biggest problem right now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? When you say you gonna be for these things, and you go after other mayors, you campaign for the attorney general to come and investigate the mayor's office for 2 years. Guess what? They doing it now. You're the mayor, though.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you've been calling for this, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You put yourself on their radar. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry for that
It's
rant.
okay,
That
but
just,
you got to bring it.
yo,
you know?
for real, like that
That was
just
my
voice.
fault. That was my
that's
fault.
Real, no,
No.
but you asked the question.
That's
and
right, you get
that's
it.
the answer to the question. There
That's
ain't no
right.
short answer to that.
There isn't.
Um,
There isn't. Go ahead, Jess.
I wanna bring in our next guest,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna before the end of the show, I'm gonna let y'all have
Come
the
on.
last word
Okay.
about the
All right.
and everything.
All right.
Can we have can we, huh?
Let me sit here.
Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. You know how to do that mic over there. If not, we'll get them to come in. Can we have our next guest come in? My brother, running for governor. I wanted you to be here in person.
I am here. in
No, because I wanted people to see you
See that?
and
Yes.
not just be a voice on the phone.
I am here.
Because you are running for New York State governor, and
That
a
is
lot of
correct.
people don't know that.
That is correct. They don't know that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I knew that.
She did know that,
I knew
yes.
Well, I knew because I get the emails. Y'all keep emailing me.
I'm trying to get you to give me some attention. You gave me some attention, so thank you.
No doubt. I just need you to pull the mic up to you.
Is that
First
good
up,
enough now?
yeah, perfect. Larry, I said your last name.
Sharp.
Sharp. I called you Stark.
No,
twice.
Sharp. No, I'm not Tony Stark
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Iron
yeah,
Man. That's
yeah.
nice. I like that, but I'm not Iron Man. I am Larry Sharp,
can
and there's
talk
an
your own
E at the end of that because the E stands for electable.
Okay, well, before we go any further, we have to give you an official People Before Politics round of applause.
Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, first and foremost, what made you decide to run, and why do you think you should be the next New York State governor?
Yeah, no doubt. Because I was thinking of leaving this state like so many New Yorkers. Over 100,000 New Yorkers leave this state every single year. They're flooding out of here as fast as they can. We got huge problems and people are leaving, and I was thinking about buying some property in North Carolina and packing my bags too. But then I said, I'm born here, I'm raised here, my family's here. Why do I want to leave? So I decided I should make a change. I should actually go do something. I want to be the change, right? I'm sitting and complain about it. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to go out there and actually make some changes, put some new ideas out there and make things happen. But why should I be the governor? For the number one reason that people tease me. They say, Larry, why should you be governor? You have never had any experience in government. That's the reason. We are in trouble right now because of the career establishment politicians who have destroyed this state for the past decades. I can change that. I'm a business guy. I know what I can do. I can fix this. That's the reason why.
Okay, now I have to tell you, in our audience, they're a little nervous right now about voting for something new, because we had that problem. We voted for something. We voted for change in Mount Vernon, and it obviously wasn't the change that a lot of people. So people are a little nervous on that whole voting for change thing now.
Absolutely,
They're a little
yeah.
shell shocked.
But look, here's your issue, right? You have two choices. You could vote red team or blue team if you want to. That's great. Let me tell you what's going to happen if you vote red team or blue team. Cuomo wins again and nothing changes. If you're happy with the way things are, that's great. Vote one of the old parties, you'll be fine. because Cuomo's going to win. The Republicans can't win a statewide election right now. It's impossible. So it's great. Same old things will happen. If you like what's happening in New York State, you are set. You should not be listening to me. But if you're unhappy, I'm the only guy who can make change.
What party are you running on?
I'm a libertarian, my dear. I'm a libertarian and
Okay.
proud libertarian. I'm someone who says I want to make sure that people can do what they want to do without forcing others to do it. You can be as liberal, as conservative as you want to be. Just don't force others to be like you. You want to support small business. I want to support small business. I want to support entrepreneurs. I want to support new businesses. I want to support hemp and cannabis and blockchain
Ooh,
and
yay.
vaping and all the things, and Uber and all the things that the current administration is going out of its way to crush. As they try to crush Uber, they try to crush no, none of that. Not just that. I want to fix things that are broken. I'm not going to sit here and let the MTA, what it's been doing for the past decades, just sit here and hold us hostage. Not going to happen. I'm not going to let these bridges and tunnels keep falling apart. We're going to actually fix things. It's a different idea, a different environment.
Now, do you have a primary, or are you going straight to the general election?
Straight to general election.
Okay.
That's me, yes. Libertarian Party does not have a primary.
Okay. Yo, stop. I was waiting for you to keep talking.
Yeah. You want me to keep talking? Please, I'll keep talking.
No, let me
tell you what's important in this state then. What's important in this state is
Good.
actually allowing real criminal justice reform, having real prison reform, actually allowing for both hemp and cannabis to be legal. These are things that matter to people in this state, and they talk about it but don't actually do anything about it. This is what matters. There's a lot of things that matter. Getting rid of unnecessary licensing, people who braid hair, people who walk dogs. There's a license for these things. Why? All it does is hurt the community. Look, I was raised in the South Bronx, a little kid in the 70s. And when I was a kid in the 70s, and you know what I saw? I saw people in a community who wanted to make money. They went out front, and they used to braid hair, right out front, and they would make money. I remember back in the day when they used to make cars out of metal. People would be out front banging out the dents in the car, sanding them out, and painting them, right, on the street, making money. We used to have gypsy cabs, because the yellow cabs didn't come to my neighborhood. With gypsy cabs, right? Somebody would have a car, and he'd paint one door a different color. We know that's gypsy cab, right? That's before we had Uber. That's what we should do back in the day, right? All those things have gone away, and now the government has stepped in and saying, no, we had a license for your protection. Not for your protection. We get a license to protect the big businesses, the medallion thugs, so people can't be using Uber and Lyft, right? We got to make sure you have monopolies in this state so the big people win. We can't just let people grow hemp and marijuana in their backyards that they should be able to do if they want to. No. We got to make sure big pharma or big tobacco wins. No. Small business is the key to resilience in this state. Small business is the key to immigrant communities growing, that entrepreneurial spirit which we crush. Small business is the way to grow this state, not big business.
Two things that come to mind. First off, a Chris Rock joke where he said, the government don't want you doing your drugs, they want you doing their drugs.
That's correct.
That's
Absolutely.
one.
Yes. That's 100% correct.
As a merchant in the 125th Street Mart across from the Apollo, I could and the last act of him and being in office, Rudy Giuliani vowed to close that building down, and he put a chain lock on it like in his last days of office.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh, my
vowed to
God.
close that building down. He tried to get rid of the Apollo. He tried to get rid of a bunch of other things that the city either owned or didn't. He sold the station to some of his friends for under the price.
Of course. Yep.
The city station. So, yeah, so I'm a recipient of that. I understand. 125th used to be pumping.
Yep.
I could stand, like if I broke my belt one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't had time to go to the store, but I ain't had to. I got to stand in front. The belt man came to me.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's like-
That's right. Yes. Exactly right.
You'd be like,
That-
yo, man, the socks
Yes.
dude came to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
This is
I relate
how
to that.
this is how a lot of communities provide value in their own community.
Right.
Right? They provide value in their own community and they grow. That's how they grow. That's how they educate their kids. That's how they get enough money so they can get a bigger business. That's how they do it.
Well,
But now they
let
can't.
me ask you the $1 million question. So,
It's $1 million question. I'm
yeah,
gonna answer
yeah.
that one.
So I guess it's like Democratic majority or whatever.
Mhm.
Do you and I know some of the independent parties, some of the not the two parties
Mhm.
are starting to make a little noise.
Yeah.
But do you really think running on the Libertarian Party that you can be elected?
100%. I'll tell you exactly why, to be clear. This is going to be a five-way race. And when I started this about a year ago, I wasn't sure if I could win. I knew I could make impact because I have good ideas, new ideas, and people and I'm not afraid to talk, and I'm in front of people. I know what I'm talking about. So I knew I could make impact. But could I win? I wasn't sure. Now I know I can. 5-way race, guys. 5-way. His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo is going to run. There's going to be a Republican sacrificial lamb. He's going to run. He can't win. He's there to get second place. Howie Hawkins will run for the Green Party. Either Stephanie Minor or Cynthia Nixon will run as an independent, and then I will run. 5-way race. New York State is a plurality state, which means you don't have to have 51%. You have to have more than the rest. That means 30% could win this thing. Right now, when I poll with people, I've been in 2 polls, a Quinnipiac poll and Gravis marketing poll. In both of those polls, when people know who I am, I poll at over 25%. So my issue is name recognition. If people get to know who I am and hear what I have to say, I'm 5 points away from victory. This can be done. But more importantly, what's going to win this election? People who don't vote. About 70% of New Yorkers do not vote. They don't show up. 70%. That's going to be about 7 million voters. If I just get 10% of them, that's 700,000 votes. I get 20%, 1.4 million. 1.5 million wins this thing. 1.5 million is all you need because only about 4 to 5 million New Yorkers ever vote. 30%, it's about 1.5 million. This is a winnable race. Don't get me wrong, it's still climbing Mount Everest. I know that. But I have been climbing this mountain for about 10 months, and I'm still hustling. This can be done.
What does libertarian mean? What does it mean?
That's what I said earlier. A libertarian says you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be, just don't force someone else to be like you. Understanding that government is force, right? What at the end of almost every law is a guy or a gal with a gun who is going to put you in a cage, and if you don't want to go in that cage, they're going to shoot you. Now, what does that mean? That means don't use law lightly. Only use law when there's a reason for law, when someone's going to lose their life, their property, their health, something's going to happen. Don't use it because I don't like what you're doing. I don't like you going over here or going over there. I think something you're using is a bad product I don't like. That's the wrong reason to use law. If we stop doing it, you'll find more people being more free. And libertarians understand that. They want to change culture, not just law. They want people to be better. It's the pursuit of happiness. Look, law shouldn't be about do as I say. Law should be about how do I facilitate an environment for everyone to be as happy as they want to be in the way that they want to be it. It's not my job to tell you what's right for you. It's my job to make sure you don't hurt anybody else. That's what libertarian is.
So, all right. So, Brother Sharp, I mean, I welcome you on the show.
Thank you.
I want you to do well, brother, but
but
I would be remiss if I didn't offer some pushback.
Please, push
to
back.
libertarian philosophy more generally.
Go ahead.
Because I think we can miss some important points. Now, while I personally am very sympathetic to the call to eliminate certain barriers to participation, full participation.
I like that.
In the in business.
Mm-hmm.
And I would agree with your assertion that a lot of the licenses that are currently required do nothing really but create an artificial monopoly control.
Absolutely.
For certain businesses.
Here comes the but.
But
mm-hmm.
It is the case, certainly, that there does need to be regulation of business in certain instances, and especially the corporate sector, precisely because there are actions that America's corporations are engaged in on a regular basis that are doing tremendous harm to humanity.
Let me give you
for example.
Okay, I'll
for
answer.
example, the climate crisis that we're now experiencing.
Sure, I'm happy to answer all those
questions.
questions.
We need some environmental regulation, and so I'm just curious how you square your libertarian philosophy with what the scientific community, at least,
happy to tell you those things. Let me touch a couple of those. Number one, at no point did I say get rid of all regulation. So that's not what I said, and I didn't say that. What I wanted to say is when it comes to licensing, here's a very good general rule for licensing, not regulations, licensing piece you brought up. And that is, would you ask your friend to do it? Would you ask your friend to braid your hair? You probably would. Would you ask your friend to walk your dog? You probably would. Why in the world do we have a license for that? That makes no sense to me. Would you ask your friend to remove your appendix? Probably not. Get a license for that. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not against all licensing. But that's a good general rule on how you do with licensing to ensure that there is not just a barrier to entry. When it comes to regulations, again, I didn't say get rid of all regulations. But when you have monopoly on regulations, it does not make things safer. What you want to do is when it comes to regulations, realize something. Regulations are written by corporate lobbyists. That's who write them now. And regulations change when corporate lobbyists change them. Standards, however, are different. And here's my best example I can give you. Health food stores. If you look at health food stores now, there's products you put in your body for health. The healthiest people you know shop at health food stores. The vast majority of things in a health food store are not regulated by the FDA and stamped appropriately, not regulated by FDA. Yet where are all the deaths from health food stores? Very few of them. I don't hear any of them ever. And if there were any deaths from health food stores, what would happen? If some product was a bad product where someone was dying or being hurt or was doing something stupid or being addicted by a product, within 30 days, we'd figure it out, see it, it would stop being sold, the company would probably be sued, the health food store might even shut down, but it would end. The FDA has killed and maimed millions of people, far more than all the health food stores combined throughout the history of time. And with our opioid crisis right now, 80% of them are somehow started through a prescription drug regulated by the FDA. Where's the punishment of the FDA? None. Where's the punishment of Big Pharma? None. Where's the punishment of all these doctors? None. There is absolutely no recourse whatsoever. A monopoly on regulation is not the answer. Does that mean there should be no regulations? Of course not. There can be regulations. Of course there can. But just saying we must regulate is the wrong answer. Another answer, when you talk about corporations. The corporations right now, they are heavily regulated. And still, what is it, 90% of all the wealth is in the top 10% of our nation now, something like that? Still,
like that.
it's still happening. The regulations aren't helping. All they're doing is make people think that things are getting better, but they're not. We're going to keep regulating? We can't.
I got a couple of comments from the audience.
Please go ahead.
So, White Plains Councilwoman Nadine Hunt Robinson said unchecked capitalism is dangerous.
I never said it shouldn't be unchecked.
Sandy Barnaby from the head of the Anti-Racism Alliance said libertarians are the Koch brothers.
That is incorrect.
It can be pretty scary.
Hold on,
let me finish.
Yeah.
She said Koch brothers have managed to destroy environmental protection. Koch brothers control Trump. Libertarians want to dismantle all regulation. And she's not finished. Does he support what the Libertarian Party is doing to our country by the way of the Koch brothers? And then she had FDA question mark. Let this man. Oh, question mark.
Okay. Let me answer these
Wait.
questions.
Wait.
Let me answer.
Let him answer.
Let me answer.
Okay.
I get it. I get this question all the time. Number one, Koch brothers are Republicans. Everyone says libertarian. They are wrong. Koch brothers have been libertarian in literally 35 years. That's not an exaggeration. Do your homework. If you are actually in government, shame on you for not knowing that. The Koch brothers have not given one dime to libertarians in over 30 years. That is absolutely incorrect. And she says, Trump is not a libertarian. Trump is a Republican. I am not a Republican. I'm libertarian. So if she doesn't like the Koch brothers, that's fine. She doesn't have to. They're not libertarian, haven't been for over 30 years. She is completely wrong. She's saying, what are libertarians doing to this country? Nothing. We are 3% of the vote. We're doing nothing to this country. How about instead give me a chance to do something to the country? Nothing's being done. We're not in power. This idea that libertarians are doing something to the country is a fantasy. We're not in charge of anything. So that's not true.
Okay, so her response to you was really not true, but White Plains Councilwoman Nadine Hunt Robinson said before OSHA laws, we had sweatshops. Remember the garment industry fire last century? And she said we need reasonable regulations.
Never said that wasn't true. What she's saying is a fear piece which is based in nothing. The Koch brothers are not libertarian. I never said deregulate everything.
We're talking about the regulations. She said the question was before you were talking about regulations and stuff.
Yes.
She said before OSHA laws, we had sweatshops. Remember the garment industry fire last century? And then she said we need reasonable regulation.
You don't really disagree with that.
I never said she was wrong. I don't know what she's talking about. Is what I'm saying.
And then she said
she's just. I'm mad. He's not a Democrat. I'm mad. That's
not
a viable argument.
Then she said 3%.
I don't think that's a fair
can lose us
representation
important,
of the objections.
3% can lose us an important election.
Okay, go ahead, Bob.
I was going to say, look, your rejoinder to say that Republicans are not libertarian really misses the point. The most radical aspect of the Republican Party platform that has been instituted over the last several decades really follows libertarianism.
It doesn't at all. You made that up also. It's not true.
Especially insofar as the main objective has been to deregulate a lot of the regulations that were instituted from the New Deal forward. So in that sense, there is a close alliance between mainstream Republicans and libertarians who both agree that an unregulated free market economy is the best economic system. But it sounds like you're actually saying you do acknowledge there's a place for regulation, despite the strong statement that you made in support of removing regulations for small businesses. You're not a full libertarian. If you were a absolute libertarian, then you wouldn't want any regulation at all because you think market mechanisms will lead to the best outcomes. Apparently, you don't quite believe that.
As a general rule, that is accurate. The problem is we're nowhere near there. You can't just take away these things. There are cultural aspects that also go into life, right? In theory, and this is a theoretical, in theory, would a consumer-driven market be better? Of course it would be in theory. But in practice, it can't be right now because we have other aspects that are happening in our culture right now. People depend on certain things, act certain ways, depending upon the cultural aspects of our nation right now. They're waiting for government to do things. Of course, you can't do it right now, but maybe in 100 years from now, maybe. Maybe 20 years from now, maybe. But we can't just take away someone and go, it's all gone, all regulation is gone. When people are afraid, we make bad decisions. So let me be very clear. I don't want to make people afraid. I want to give good ideas to facilitate good ideas. Note what I said. I did not say, get rid of all licensing. I said, let's have a good general rule. Would you ask your friend to do it? It's a very common sense, nice general rule on licensing. Why wouldn't we think that way? Will there be exceptions? Of course there will be. But right now the answer is, I'm afraid regulate. You look at the vaping industry. You look at cryptocurrency. You look at blockchain. You look at Uber. You look at Airbnb. And the first answer is, we're afraid, regulate. That should not be the first answer. The first answer should be, can we just let the consumer decide first and see what happens? That should always be our first answer, and it isn't. And what winds up happening is, who is the person who starts a hairbreading business? Who is the person who starts a dog walking business? There's no such thing as big dog walking or big hair braiders. It doesn't exist. It's the average person who's trying to make a better life for themselves. It's the person who maybe was an addict and has a bad resume. Maybe is a felon and had a bad resume. Maybe their job went away. Maybe their big business shut down. Maybe they're a single parent and their kids finally left, and now they want to go off and do something. Maybe they're just tired of working for the man and want to go out there and do something on their own. That's the person who this affects more than anything. The idea that licensing at a local level affects the global economy in some way or affects the EPA or science, that's just a straw man people put up all the time. Well, you can't get with licensing. Now all of a sudden we're going to have global warming or whatever the case may be. No, they are two separate issues completely. They're not related at all. Licensing is, generally speaking, small businesses only. EPA is a different issue. I'm happy to talk about that too if you want to.
Well, before you do that, and I know we're coming to the end of the show soon, I wanted to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you another question. I wanted to give you the opportunity to share with anyone listening who wants to know more about you.
Absolutely.
Is there a website?
Yes.
Is there social media? Whatever.
If you want to really learn the kind of things I'm talking about, which is things like, as an example, raising money through ways other than taxation, right? Doing things like leasing out naming rights to bridges to allow people to actually be able to make companies make money off a bridge so we don't have to pay any tolls. Getting rid of tolls and allowing people to travel more freely across this state and without raising our tax dollars. Being able not just do that, but actually make hemp and cannabis regulated like onions. So if you have chronic pain, you could grow your own medicine in your backyard and not have to pay some pharmaceutical company to give you an opioid. Things like that, actual criminal justice reform, where people actually have a chance, and when they get out of prison, they have an actual second chance at life, which hardly ever happens in this state. And we have people who are doing it in other states, and we should be copying them. If you care about that, go to Larry Sharp for New York Facebook page, or LarrySharp.com. That's Sharp with an E, and the E stands for electable. Or go to Larry Sharp Instagram or Larry Sharp Twitter. There's lots of videos. Larry Sharp for New York YouTube. I'm everywhere. Take your chance. Go look at it. Learn something.
Now, of course, we couldn't get to every question, and there are some more. So where can they go to those social media sites and ask you their questions?
100%. My team will answer, or I will answer, or both of us will answer. And I also do a radio show every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. called The Governor's House. It's a call-in show. Call and ask me questions. I take 6 to 8 calls every single time I do it. I just answer questions straight
Radio
from the
show
phone.
Where?
It is. If you go to my Facebook page, you will see it as an event. It'll pop up on Wednesdays.
Okay. Last question. You got any follow-up, Bob? You wanted to close?
this.
I made him speechless. Yes. I'm kidding.
That's not.
No. You didn't do that. No, you didn't do that.
Dr. Bob is
Interest in the show, and I understand. I don't want to come across as too adversarial.
I don't mind
did
at all.
want to raise some principled objections and criticisms against libertarianism as a governing philosophy.
Right.
But for the interest, I mean, there's more things to do, and you know.
I kind of like a little bit of what he talks.
I'm
I'm a
glad.
Republican.
Thank you.
Well,
And
I mean,
Oh, really?
right. Well, let me say
didn't
this
know
then,
that.
specifically with respect to how
Oh,
Brother Sharp has conceptualized how an economy would work. And he used the example, he stressed the importance of allowing consumers to make choices
Yep.
Before we decide to adopt regulation.
Mm-hmm.
And he specifically cited the example of Uber. And I want to say that we need to be very clear that consumerism only is one role that we play in life, and that even as we benefit as consumers, much of the evidence seems to suggest that that local labor markets have been hurt by the spread of the I'll just call it for hire, the gig industry to the cab sector, right? So at the very same time that consumers are benefiting by apparently reduced costs of cab rides, we do now have a lot of career cab drivers who are experiencing unprecedented financial
Come
duress.
on, you're not saying it. This medallion system is the mob.
Mr. Sharp,
Are you
Mr.
kidding me?
Sharp.
It's a mafia.
Mr. Sharp, can you allow me to complete my thought?
Go
And
ahead.
I'll be happy to allow you to rebut. So there have been a lot of individual drivers who have been hurt by
that I
the change in the cab industry, and the competition is actually pushing down wage prices. And as a result, you're seeing a big clamor on the part of many cab drivers for some sort of regulation so that their livelihoods aren't hurt. So I don't want to say, Mr. Sharp, I don't want to say that there are benefits to lessening the regulatory load. But what I want to make clear is that we can't be dogmatic or doctrinaire about this. We have to really review it on a case-by-case basis. And I just point out Uber because I think it makes the supports my contention that, you know what, there is no one size kind
Not
of
at
fits
all.
all.
Well,
Not at all.
just wanna
The
say-
medallion system allows a bunch of people to purchase medallions set up by the government so that they can make a bunch of money as rent seekers and now punish the actual drivers. The people who are making money in the medallion system are the people who bought the medallions because the government has decided that, oh, you should have X number of cabs in the city. Why would the government decide that? It makes no sense. Uber somehow works. Have these cabs, they're stopping and becoming Uber drivers because they make more money in Uber. They don't have to pay for the medallion anymore. The medallion is a way to punish immigrants who came to the city trying to work as cab drivers. They pay horrible rents to run these cabs for 24 hours. 12 hours for one person, 12 hours for the second person, so they can survive. Why? Because they're paying medallion rents. The medallions were set up by the city government. They are a terrible idea. And if you're going to use cabs, that's exactly the worst example. The medallions are a terrible idea that allowed government to make some people rich and other people's pay. No
Okay,
way.
so-
Medallions may
okay.
be the wrong regulatory
they are.
approach.
Correct.
However, total deregulation is also the wrong regulatory approach, and the
I never said
complaints
total deregulation. I never said that.
have been made against Uber and the kind of mass inroads that it has made is sufficient proof that we need to be careful about going to the other extreme as well.
Okay, so real quick, so closing out, I just wanted a couple of people said a few comments. Ayo Joint said, our issues are rooted in unchecked capitalism. The Citizens United decision made things even more
I agree
complicated.
completely. He's right.
Sandy Bond said, Ayo, absolutely right. Watch the documentary Dark Money. It's frightening.
Citizens United was a bad idea. I agree completely. Terrible idea.
And Ayo said, and read the book by Robert Reich called Saving Capitalism. Great read. I wanted
Robert
to
Reich.
okay. I wanted to give our other guests a quick second to final words about the rally coming up. I wanted y'all to quick.
Yeah, quickly, yes. So thank you, AJ, for the time. Thank you, Lorraine and Dr. Bob, for having myself and Jesse here to talk about the Save for Rally in Mount Vernon. Is going to be this Wednesday coming up, August 22nd. at 6 p.m., 6 to 8 p.m. on the front steps of City Hall. We will be there. We expect you all to be there for the things that we discussed earlier. But please take a look, take a gander at our Save Mount Vernon March event on Facebook. Also, you can find it on Black Westchester. They've been supportive and getting the word out as well. So I want to thank AJ for allowing me as a correspondent to, write about the event through Black Westchester. But I know you pressed for time, so I don't want to go into more about what we're marching for. But on the event, you'll see a press release, and it'll give a good detail.
For anybody want more information, where do they go?
Save Mount Vernon March. That's just type it in on the search box in Facebook. Save Mount Vernon March, and there is where you'll find in the discussion column a press release detailing our objectives and some solutions for the mayor as well and city council.
Any last words?
Thank you, AJ, Louise, Dr. Bob. Appreciate everything that's done for us today, but people, please, Lorraine, I got you. Look,
I was going to correct you after you
thank
finished.
you. I appreciate it, Lorraine.
Lorraine's sweet girl.
Wednesday, 22nd, 6 o'clock. Show up. And if you think you wanted your voice to be heard, I think we'll let you to the podium. We have nothing to hold back. We got everything to give. Solution is the answer. The person sitting behind the house, like I said, is our house, not his. We vote him in, we can vote him out. City council, putting you on notice too. We coming. Everybody's not doing their job. We voted for y'all.
And we're giving them a deadline. They got 60 days. From the day that we march on the 22nd, they got 60 days to give us an answer on what's being done or what's going to be done. So there is a deadline.
I just want to also say, I would like to see the governor's running for re-election too.
Okay.
So he has the power to make that move that y'all talked about.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
He's
he
too
need to
busy
be
running for
put-
president.
But he need to be put on blast.
Well, he'll
Well,
be
we-
there
And
too.
bring his attention. If you bring up his name enough while he's running for election,
Yeah.
you get his attention.
Well, that's why we didn't expose everything here today. We didn't say everything. We holding back to Wednesday. So we was trying to basically refrain our words and not let y'all know everything. But you come Wednesday, you're going to hear it all. You will definitely hear it all.
Last words.
Cuomo's too busy running for president. He doesn't care about you. He's too busy. He's too busy putting $30 million into his pocket so he can run for president. He's trying to beat up on Trump. He doesn't care about New York anymore. He's finished. He already walked away.
Last words, Dr. Bob.
Well, firstly, to Brother Van Loo and Lateef,
My man. Dr.
thank y'all
Bob.
for coming to the studio
Thank you,
and
sir.
stepping to the forefront and exercising some leadership
Thank you.
as we look to find ways to resolve the important issues that we're facing in the city of Mount Vernon. And y'all know I will be there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Whatever fears or misgivings I have, I will not allow myself to be cowed from speaking.
And for the
It's a
record,
power.
I just want to say, because some may say, well, Bob, he doesn't live in Mount Vernon. He used to. And he left because of the BS that's going on. And there's this type of knowledge. We have a doctor that is a professor at a very prominent college in New York State. We need him back here in Mount Vernon. And so we need to stop what's going on because it's running people away. Like Mr. Sharp mentioned, people are packing their bags. People are
They
leaving
are.
Mount Vernon
Yep.
because they're tired of it, especially if your taxes.
I'm going to keep it real. If my mother did not get sick in 2014, I wouldn't be in New York.
That's correct.
Right.
I mean, there wouldn't be no Black Westchester. There would be nothing.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
here. I only came back from my mother.
Voting
and this
blue and
happened.
voting red is not going to change anything, guys. You got to vote gold to make a change. If you want to hear change, you want to hear new ideas, you want to give people hope, you got to vote gold in 2018. I'm not joking. Libertarian Party is the answer for change. Because if you vote Libertarian, even if I lose, doesn't matter. It will force the other parties to be better parties. They will have to act because there'll be more competition. I know he hates competition, but it's
that's
very
right.
good. Competition helps to make people better.
He ran from Astorino, like the whole.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not an Astorino fan,
Me
but
either.
but for someone who got outspent 10-1 and never got accepted a debate except for that one in Buffalo on Buffalo radio, like you understand what I'm saying? Like you had to live in Buffalo, like to really like get to hear that, and that was the last minute. Astorino did pretty damn well for being out. I mean, he got. I'm not an
Yeah, but
Astorino
he
supporter.
came in second and nothing changed.
Well,
And
no,
this
no.
time,
I got
the
that. I'm just
Republican will
saying.
come in second again, nothing changes. I come in second, things change. I win, the entire state changes. I come in a good third, there's change. That's the issue. You vote for me you will see change. Because I'm talking about things. Who's talking about real criminal justice reform?
Well,
Nobody
is he letting you come to the table in a debate?
Yes, I'll be there.
When are you?
It'll be in October.
October what?
I don't know yet.
Who do you
Okay.
support? Who do you support for lieutenant?
Yeah, who do you support for lieutenant?
Lieutenant Governor? I already have Lieutenant Governor. His name is Andrew Hollister out of Rochester. Yes, absolutely. I've actually have an upstate Lieutenant Governor because this is a state. It's not just New York City. That's correct. It's not just New York City.
I'm supporting Jemani. I just actually came from an event, so I'm personally not Black Western, not People Before Politics. AJ Woodson is supporting Jemani. So
I wanted to say I have never shied away from public criticism of the two-party duopoly.
Yes.
Oh,
and the
actually, we
damage.
need open primaries too.
Yes.
But it's-
There's a
Yes.
number of reforms that we can make, and this much I will say that there's a lot of agreement between Brother Sharp and I about the need for a serious alternative to the two-party system, and until a third party is seen as a viable alternative, really what it means is that the two parties have no incentive
Yep.
to offer up significant changes.
Wasn't some hip-hop
So
legend?
it could be the case.
Hip-hop
I have not yet made a decision about who I am going to vote for.
So I got a shot.
So it could well be the case
All right, I got a
that
shot.
if one wants to register serious objections to the two-party system, voting for a third-party candidate, libertarian, or another one, if you so desire,
AJ might
could
know
be
that.
a good way to start making
I heard the
step
question.
in the right direction.
About-
So in that
So
sense,
I
I
just-
want everyone to seriously consider
I love that.
Brother Sharp's
10 seconds.
policy proposals. Take a close look at his program, and if you find something of redeeming value, and you don't think that you will do lasting harm to our to New York State government by not voting Democrat, then consider it.
Sonny Barnaby, who was the one that gave you all those questions, said you have a shot.
Look at that. I got a shot. I love it. I got a shot. I love it.
Were you with our friend Anthony Millay
Yeah, because
today?
it's on the video.
Yes, I was.
You know,
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Anthony
correct.
was here last week.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so-
yes. I was just with him about a couple hours ago.
Yes, I
Okay.
was supposed to be there, but
Yes. Well, you got to see me now, so good.
Now what I told him.
Yes.
So
Oh, good.
So I just
That was
want to
good.
thank everybody
Yeah, that
for
was really
tuning in. I want to thank all of our guests for coming. As we celebrate, as we come off the second of our four-year anniversary of this show,
Congratulations.
trying to take things to the next level. We always pride ourselves in trying to bring you as many of the candidates as possible so that you can hear what they're about and at least make an informed decision. I cannot tell you who to vote for, but I urge you to vote.
Please,
That's
that's
important.
70% of New Yorkers don't vote.
And hopefully we help you make an informed decision at the ballot box, not vote for somebody because that's my girl or vote for someone. No, seriously, that we had that in Mount Vernon.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Not vote for somebody because they're black or only because
Yes.
they're a woman. And
Or because of their party affiliation.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, no, we don't need blind loyalty to party affiliation. I've been on the record. I have no problem with the current Westchester DA, but I voted for the Republican that lost. You understand what I'm saying? I have no problem with this dude, but that's not who I voted for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when we came to the conversation, he was talking about more of what we was talking about when it came to criminal justice and police brutality. So I favored him. You understand what I'm saying? Now, he lost, but my point is, though, you know what I'm saying? You don't vote for a party just to vote for a party. That's why we're in the situation we're in now.
Yes.
Republicans is doing what they're doing now because they're trying to support their party. We're not even talking about the best person for office. We're talking about keeping our party in or taking over that party. And I do stand for open primaries, and I believe that open primaries, we wouldn't be in the situation before we are in now because the states that had open primaries, Bernie won the primary. You understand what I'm saying? Of the states that I think Bernie would have had a better chance of winning than Hillary did. That's just my opinion. But we're coming to the close of the show. I want to thank everybody for listening. This is Black Westchester presents the People Before Politics radio show every Sunday, 6 to 8 on InTheMixRadio.com. Until next week, you could be doing
Peace out,
anything else,
everybody.
but you decide to ride with us, and we greatly appreciate it. Peace.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.